Ken Smith, ICI Chemicals and Polymers Ecology Officer. It's my job to look after the birds and the beasts, the wildflowers and insects that live in and around our production sites. You know, it's not all that long ago when it was thought that soon as industry moved in, nature moved out. But that needn't be so. Industry and wildlife can live side by side, provided we give it a chance. Today, more than ever before, ecologists and economists are working together for a better environment. So, let us look what ICI here on Teesside is doing for the environment, for wildlife, for people and for the business, working together for the best of both worlds.
Everyone wants a clean and healthy environment in which to live and work. The maintenance of clean air and water is fundamental to environmental improvements, and ICI is always trying to reduce the effluents from its operating plants. This is a normal and accepted role for the chemical industry, but what about nature conservation? In fact, ICI on Teesside pioneered cooperation with conservation organisations over 25 years ago when it leased Coopan Marsh to the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. Today, Coopan is still a reserve, but it is now managed on the company's behalf by the Cleveland Wildlife Trust.
More recently, the company has made the wetland habitats here at Saltholme Pools into a conservation area. This is one of the finest water bird sites in northeast England and is a particular attraction for rare wading birds. You know, at first sight it might seem strange that a company like ICI, or in fact any other international organisation, should be concerned with nature conservation. Why then do we get involved?
Well, conservation of natural resources, animal, vegetable and mineral, makes good scientific sense. Sustainable human development is only possible if we have the necessary resources. We must preserve the diversity of life. Who knows when we as human beings might need to call on the natural world for our needs. We also have a social responsibility to protect the natural environment in and around our sites for future generations. It makes good business sense too. A quality company must strive for a quality environment, one that is worth living in and supports the wide variety of plants and animals that makes human life possible. The chemical industry helps to create the beautiful things we all want and need. The synthetic fibres in this dress, the colours, even the flowers in the garden have benefited from some aspects of the chemical industry. It would be a pity, though, if in making these things that we allowed the beauty of nature to be destroyed. But this needn't be. With a little sensitive planning, we really can have the best of both worlds. Synthetic fibres and plastics, dye-stuffs and polymers can coexist with foxgloves and bees, butterflies and birds, if only we take a little care.
We've already seen that ICI has set aside some of its land as nature reserves and conservation areas, but what else are we doing? Well, just as there are safety management plans for our operating sites, we are now developing ecological management plans. You know, Chemicals and Polymers is the first of the ICI groups to include in its environmental policy a commitment to the preservation of flora and fauna, and where possible, the enhancement and creation of wildlife habitats. But before we can do this, we've got to know just what plants and animals live in and around our sites.
Field surveys are essential. Everything needs to be carefully documented and photographed. And critical identifications checked in reference books and against specimens in collections.
Bob Walters and Phil Thorpe-Willett are craftsmen on the Wilton site, but they are also very competent naturalists. They've been seconded to help with the ecological improvements here on Teesside. Last night they set some traps to sample small mammal populations. Let's go and see how they've got on. Hi Bob, Phil, how'd it go?
Great. Put 2 traps down last night, Ken, and both of them have been set off through the night. So we've definitely got 2 beasts in the traps.
We don't know what they are yet though?
I'm afraid not yet, no. Possibly long-tailed field mouse.
Okay.
Don't lose it. He's coming. There he goes. What have we got?
Oh.
It's a long-tailed field mouse.
Long-tailed field mouse.
Definitely. Right, it's an active one, that.
Very active long-tailed field mouse. Yeah, Phil. Oh,
It's a field vole.
it's a vole. Yeah.
It's a bank vole.
Bank vole, Bob.
Definitely
Yeah.
a bank vole.
Yeah.
Beauty, that one.
Yeah. Bank vole. He really is fine.
It is.
Lovely coat.
Nice specimen, that one. Bank vole.
All of the information collected in the field gradually builds up a picture of the wildlife on and around our sites, and we can then start to understand the ecological relationships involved and develop conservation plans. Here at North Tees Brownfields, for example, islands in the shallow pools have been colonised by common terns. We have also found that the unsurfaced gravel roads of the site are important nesting places for ringed plovers. This bird is not injured, it is merely play acting, a pretense to lure would-be predators away from its eggs and young.
In the past, here on North Tees Brownfields, pools formed as an accidental byproduct of the browning operations. But now, with the cooperation of the Brownfields management, some custom-made pools like this one have been excavated for the benefit of waders and other water birds. North Tees is not the only C&P site that is involved with creative conservation. There are a number of other very important projects underway. You know, everywhere in Britain, wetlands are under threat. And as the marshlands are drained and the ponds filled in, the plants and animals associated with these watery areas are lost forever. Here at Wilton, the Wetlands Project aims to recreate a series of pools and marshes balanced so that plants and animals can live together. It has been managed by Dave Fryatt and Barry Richardson, both of Operational Services. Dave, how's things going?
When we decided to develop this area, Ken, we weren't quite sure what the outcome would be.
Yeah.
But now we've got the ponds dug and filled with water and the trees and shrubs planted, we're very impressed with the result.
It looks very mature considering you only planted it this year.
It does, yes.
The trees are coming along fine.
Smashing.
Thank you very much, Dave. Barry, have we got a minute or two? Hi, Dave was telling me how the project's coming along. He's very pleased with it.
Oh, it's coming along smashing, Ken.
What are we doing now then?
Well, we're getting the aquatic plants in now.
Well, the aquatics are coming in as well as the trees.
Yeah, we're starting to introduce those. We've got bog bean and marsh marigold in at the moment.
Yeah.
And we've got a host of other plants coming sort of in the next week or so.
Oh, that's very good. How about the animal life, insects and things?
Pond skaters, water beetles, damselflies, and a host of other insects as well.
I've heard there's been mallard or even snipe seen already.
We had the snipe on and a pair of mallard over on the back bank there.
Marvellous. Let's go and have a look what the lads are doing.
Another project at Wilton is along the Boundary Road. Here, an area of rough grassland is being converted into a wildflower meadow, partly by changing the grass cutting regime, but also by planting with native wildflowers grown especially for the project by the Teesside Botanic Centre. Nearby, we are establishing a butterfly reserve, where native trees and shrubs have been supplemented by selective plantings of other wildflowers that are attractive to butterflies, moths and other insects, and the whole area carefully preserved. In some areas, such as at Lazenby Bank, people can come and look for themselves. Here, ICI leases this part of its Wilton estate to Cleveland County Council for nature conservation and field studies. County wardens conduct school parties through the woodlands, which are full of wildlife and historical interest, such as the remains of the old Cleveland iron mining industry. These outdoor classrooms are ideal for teaching a new generation that industry and the natural environment can peacefully coexist. But we also take our message out into the schools themselves.
To ICI. So ICI isn't just a chemical works. They actually own farmland and woodland. Has anybody got any questions?
What kind of trees do you have in Wilton Woods?
We have elm, but not very many elm now, unfortunate to the elm beetle. We have oak, I believe there's black poplar, ash, silver birch and beech. So it's quite a varied woodland, and quite a lot of it is very old woodland as well. Yes, young man.
What sort of animals do you have?
Roe deer, badgers, foxes, we have your rabbits and hares.
Exhibitions also pass on the environmental message, such as this one in Middlesbrough's Cleveland Centre.
Why am I all dressed up in a suit? Well, behind these doors, there's a board meeting in progress. A meeting of the directors of the Cleveland INCA. That's Industry, Nature, Conservation Association. It's the first of its kind anywhere in the country, a joint venture between the Nature Conservancy Council and industry to work on the interface between ecological conservation and economic development. ICI was a founder member of INCA, which now includes Tioxide, Cleveland County Council, the Tees Development Corporation, British Steel and many others. Just imagine it, some of Teesside's most senior industrial managers talking about the birds and the bees. Let's go and listen.
Is that we desperately need significant economic growth on Teesside to make sure that the people of Teesside share the nation's wealth, and at the present time a lot of people on Teesside don't get their fair share. And at the same time we've got to move forward and achieve significant environmental improvement, both in habitats and in the quality of our water, the quality of our air. The problem, the trick, I think, on Teesside is to make sure that we achieve them both together and not one at the expense of the other.
This has always been the industrial environmental dilemma. I personally am most encouraged by the progress that has been made through the first year of INCA, and I sense a growing feeling.
Fine words, but as we've seen, it's more than words here on Teesside, it's actions.
Actions by people at all levels. We've made a commitment to protect the total environment, that is, to reduce pollution, to conserve plants and animals, and where possible, create habitats. This is not just conservation for conservation's sake. It's a recognition that the maintenance of properly balanced ecosystems are essential, not only for the plants and animals which live in them, but also for us as human beings.
Yes, we've made a lot of progress, but we accept that there is still a long way to go. We cannot be complacent. The things we've done and will continue to do are our contribution to the well-being of the earth. You know, conservation knows no boundaries. The maxim has got to be, think global, act local. Here on Teesside, we've made our natural choice and shown that industry and wildlife can peacefully coexist. And we really can have the best of both worlds.